Sup everyone, XQWYLOW8280 here, and today racing at Tokyo Expressway at the Southern Inner Loop for one of the manufacturer races. So let's take a look at the grid. In P3 we have Gr.3, and in P4 we have our buddy Tom61. So as you can see, the power cars are really doing well in this race because they are right at the front of the field. As we have Vigi, who's starting in P11. And we are going to start this race in P14. As we also have Tiger Race in this race, starting in P16. Roger in P17. So let's get straight underway. Rolling start. And looking behind us, we can see already quite a big gap. So let's hope we can keep our position for the first couple of corners. Somebody into the wall behind us. So I expect to struggle quite a bit with this car on this track because not one of the best tracks, and also the Alpha quite struggles here a bit, so it's going to be very difficult as we approach the first braking zone. And we can see quite some chaos unfolding in front of us as we manage to get in front with a Nissan. So up to P12. Just enough room for us to go through as we already have a big gap behind us. And also quite a lot of cars with penalties, so we are very lucky to get away with that one. Three wide on the straight, but just have to back out because we don't want to be any part of this because it's still early days in this race. Only the first lap, so you just want to stay out of trouble in the start of the race. So we already did a good job by just staying out of trouble. These races just sometimes turn out to be quite chaotic because of the long straights, which cause everybody to just punch up at the corners. But we just slightly hit the barrier. Looking in front, we can see some battling going on. So you can see some smoke and seems like somebody is spinning. Big crash. And by that we managed to get up another position, up to P11. As we have a good round to the cars in front of us, so up to P10. Can we go for another move? As we try to go through the inside. Yeah, it seems like we managed to do it up to P9, but we just brake a little bit late. Can we hold on? No, it seems like the Honda and the Citroen managed to get back up through the inside. And also the Frenchman behind us wanted to go through, but luckily we managed to hold him off. Or can we? Because he's still right alongside us. And it's a very quick car, the Jaguar, onto the straights. As you can see, his nose appearing onto the right hand side, but we just managed to stay in front. So crucially, we're still into the slipstream of the Citroen in front. So we try to go around the outside, so we get a slight bump from behind from the Jaguar. Luckily we managed to stay on track, but we lost the position due to the contact. So quite luckily we didn't spin around. Just wanted to try and go for a move around the outside, but yeah, slight tap and we went a little bit wide. Luckily we managed to get away with that one, because it could have ended much worse. So let's now try to follow these guys along. You also have to save fuel in this race, so not too bad to be behind another car. So you could just save a little bit more fuel. Like here we were just lifting and coasting. As the Jaguar tried to go for a move, but didn't quite work out for him. And it seems like somebody had to serve a penalty. I think it's Gr.3 in the Aston Martin. So that might give us an opportunity to try and go for another position. Good run, but very busy through this tunnel, so we just have to lift a bit to not try to be involved, because very risky with the slight corners. So very difficult to go for a move. We also know how quick these cars in front are onto the straight. So we're just going to try and do our own thing and save a bit of fuel. Also important to know is that we only have to use normal tires. So that are the ones that we're on right now. So everybody's onto the same compounded tire, so that opens up the strategy if we have to go for a pit stop or not. But the race is 17 laps, so you quite expect that everybody has to make a stop. So yeah, 17 laps, very long race this one. And lap times are around 2 minutes each lap, so 2 minutes. And multiply that with 17 laps and then you have a race of 34 minutes, so quite a long one for the manufacturer series. So we just made a little bit of contact with the Citroen in front and we get a savage 1 second penalty. Very frustrating. Yeah, I didn't expect him to be that slow off of the corner. So quite annoying to lose time just by a silly mistake. Luckily it didn't ruin this race too much, so... But yeah, very frustrating. Let's hope it doesn't cost us too much time. So you can see the Citroen going to the inside and making up some positions back into P9. So through this fast section we go. Very fun part of the track. Also one line through there, so very difficult to overtake as well. And we just managed to close up with the cars in front, and that's quite what you want to do if you have a penalty. To try and be as close as you can towards the cars in front. So just lifting off a bit. We don't want to make a move because we have the penalty anyway, so we're going to lose that position if we try to go for an overtake, so not much point of doing that. And here we have the zero penalty, so 1 second. Luckily we have this car after the penalty zone, so we don't lose too much time. Oh, that's very scary. You can see a car just on the racing line. Whew, that makes my heart rate a little bit faster, but luckily we managed to go through. So it looks like everybody survived that, apart from the car who was parked there, of course. Luckily you just managed to drive through it. So it looks like you have lost a driver in the race because he was parked there. So that's another position we have gained. So right now, very important to try and get back towards the cars in front. Looks like there's a long train forming as well. So very crucial to try and close in once again, because we're almost at the pit stops, because lap 6 of 17, so the pit stops are quite approaching. I think the pit stops will be around lap 8 or 9. Normally expect cars to pit when you divide the laps in two, because that makes perfect sense if you have to do one stop to just split your race in 2 races. Or 2 races at equal length. But we really have to be a bit closer towards the cars in front. Difficult to save fuel like this if you are not in the slipstream. Somebody into the pits already. That's very early. But it seems like the cars in front are starting to get quite a bit bigger on our screen, so that's something we like to see. That means that we're getting a little bit closer. And of course, if they start battling, we will be closing in quite rapidly, because we will lose time by going side by side. And also, we're still not clear from the cars behind us. They're still on our tail. I'm getting quite confident that we can close the gap up. So you can just see them battling, so that's just what we want to see at this point of the race. I think we might have just done enough to get into their slipstream. So very close right now, but I think it will be very difficult with our car to try and make any overtakes. So I'm not really sure how we will have to approach this race to try and make up some more positions. Because as you can see, we are maybe a little bit faster than the cars in front, but if you can't overtake, it's very difficult to try and make up positions, of course. And we are a little bit faster at this point of the race. So we're going to try and make a move onto the Aston Martin. Can we do it? So we try and go alongside him, but he just drives us into the wall. Yeah, that's a bit frustrating because I think we would have been able to make the move. But he just drove us into the wall, which nothing we could do there, so quite frustrating. I'd be quite surprised that he didn't saw me, because yeah, it was like he reacted to our overtake attempt. So yeah, quite weird to see. So we are right behind him again as he is indicating to the left. So will he make a pit stop? Let's see. It looks like everybody's making their stop. But we can saw just how much they're battling, so we're going to go a bit forward on our tires because we don't want to pit just yet. We'll have to try and make an advantage, get an advantage somewhere, and that's just why we're going to continue a little bit longer on our tires. I think the cars in front have stopped and we are in 5th position. So it seems like you have gained a lot of time, and also our tires are not too bad. We still get good lap times. Also, the Alpha is a car that's not too bad on its tires, so that's just why we want to continue for a couple more laps. Seems like we're also not dropping away too far from the cars in front. And somebody behind us has a penalty, so we're just skipping ahead a bit and we can see the spared into the pits. And that's up to P4 for us. So another lap we're going to do on these tires. So we're just going to skip ahead further into the video and onto lap 12. Because we just felt that our tires were quite good, so we decided to just continue. Very crazy strategy that we're trying to pull off here. Because I felt like we were going to be stuck with the cars behind us once we made our pit stop once again. And right now we're in 4th position, so that's quite a good position to be in. And we're just going to hope that we're going to be able to hang on to our tires. It just felt like if we made that pit stop, we would have been stuck once again behind the cars earlier in the race. So that's just why I wanted to try something else, and I really hope it works out. Our tires are still not too bad. But of course the cars with fresh tires behind us are approaching very quickly, as you would expect, of course. So you'll have to try and be very clever if you want to make this strategy work. We don't have to fight the cars that are battling us too hard, like the Viper here, overtaking us to the inside, and we're just going to let him go and hope to benefit a bit from his slipstream. So right now we have to push and try and stay behind him as long as possible. which doesn't seem like it's working quite well, but we're going to try anyway. Luckily we managed to get the corners quite right, so we're still into a slipstream, I think. We saved a lot of fuel early in the race to try and push right now. So still 4 more laps to go. Can we pull off a good position at the end of this race? Let's see. I'm just starting to feel that it will be a struggle later in the race. Still 4 more laps to go, so quite a long distance if your tires are already bad. Luckily we're not dropping away too far from the Viper, so that's still a good indication that we are not too slow. Of course our tires are going to go off a little bit more, but so are the others. So you can see the car in front just jumping around, so a little bit of connection problems for him. I think we were before the pit stops around position 10, so we just know at which position we have to try and finish at the end of the race. So if we finish any higher as P10, our strategy will have worked normally. As we have 3 more laps to go right now. Can we hold on to this position? So you can see the Viper going wide. So all in all, we're still doing quite well, I would say. Better than expected. But we're also pushing very hard and just using up all of our fuel. So we'll have to be cautious with that as well. We don't want to run out of fuel at the last few corners at the end of the race. Large group of cars behind us, as we could just see behind us, so let's hope that we can stay in front of them. Once they catch up to us, we will just drop down like a stone, so let's hope that they don't catch us. We have to try and do everything we can that they don't get close enough. We don't want them to our slipstream, because then I think we will have lost our good position. So still 2 exciting laps to see if we can hold on to this position. P5 would be a very nice result. Who would have thought that we actually pull this strategy off? Didn't expect it myself as well, to be honest. But let's still stay focused and save our tires as much as we can. We really have to try and make them go to the end, so we can just see our car sliding around. And we can see the Citroen behind us really closing in right now. So can we keep our 5th position? But he's really closing in right now. But yeah, I don't think we can defend this, so I'm not going to battle too hard because I felt like we couldn't fight anymore because we almost ran out of fuel. So I'm just going to try and stay into the safety as long as possible. And try and get a 6th position out of this race. Because behind this position we have a lot of cars. We cannot let them catch us. And we did quite a good job to stay into the safety of fast lane Dane in front of us. We just did enough to stay in the safety, so that's just what we wanted to see. So very crucial right now that we have just done enough to keep the safety. And we still have a big gap behind us. So will we just have done enough to keep our 6th position? Yeah, I would have thought this would actually have worked to try and go for no stop at one of the longest races possible. Already 33 minutes we are doing right now. So only a couple more corners to go. We really have to try and stay onto the track right now. Imagine throwing it all the way into the last couple of corners. So we just have to keep it clean, not take any risks, and just bring it home. And it just looks like we're going to do it. So P6 after starting in P14 I think, so very happy with that. Made up a lot of positions, so looks like our crazy strategy has worked out in the end, so we're definitely very happy with that. So thank you guys for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye.